All right, welcome back to another episode of the Extreme Lifestyle Living Podcast. Now, I hope you guys are all having an absolute banger of a start to the 2026 year so far, and really hope you guys are feeling a momentum. At the end of the day, all we can do is control what we can control in front of us and try our best and put as much effort as we can each and every day. So I always like to remind you guys of that because it is still really early. It's only January 15th. That's when I'm recording this. Release date will be, just starting the kind of third week of the new year, second, third full week of January. And, I really do hope you guys are all feeling your absolute best. And if you guys aren't, I always like to say, and actually today I talked to my team, my clients, my community about this was, assess the week, but then assess the year. The year we can look at it back. It's only a couple weeks long, right? So by assessing this week and the last few weeks entirely, like let's focus on some things that we could change in terms of maybe with stuff that's not going as well, whether it's nutrition, whether it's workouts, whether it's just boundaries and stress, whatever it may be. Let's look at everything and see what's not going according to plan. And then just ask yourself why. Don't become emotional about it and beat yourself up if you get in your head about as to certain reasons why maybe things aren't going to plan. Fuck all that noise. Let's just focus on what we can control to move forward. And then we just layer down one thing at a time to figure it out. If you're not hitting your workouts, hit a couple workouts. Hit one workout at least. If you're not tracking your nutrition or focusing on it intentionally, focus on it, pick one meal a day, lock it in. And if you're overwhelmed or stressed and your boundaries aren't being respected, lock that in and give yourself a night away from everyone's bullshit. Stay home and do something that makes you feel good, or, stand up for what you believe in, speak up, do whatever you need to do to feel more control in that manner as well. And then same thing with the month. Apply that same thing to the month. And then alongside that, make sure you lock in on some stuff to celebrate too, because at the end of the day, if you are reflecting on these things in general, it goes to show that you are being intentional with your time, which is a win in itself. You're trying your best, you're putting effort in, and, by us reflecting, we're always going to be looking at things that we could do better at, to help us get more success and, get into more momentum. But, we got to make sure we're giving ourselves time for the things that are going well. Maybe you didn't track your nutrition to the standards you want, but you're still doing it. You're still tracking. You're still in the arena showing enough for us. So that's a huge win in itself. Maybe the workouts, same idea, not hitting them as often or as frequent or as hard as you want them. I want to, but you're still hitting them. You're still showing up. You're still putting in the work to some degree. Same with boundaries and overwhelm. You may be overwhelmed, stressed the fuck out, don't feel in control, but at the same time, you're still actively and proactively looking ahead as to what you can control to stay focused and do your thing, right? So everything's working out. Just focus on showing the fuck up. So, I hope you guys are all feeling great, getting ready to take over 2026. And this is a great segue into today's topic, which is confidence. We all want confidence to feel absolutely our best, stand tall, stand proud, and just, feel confident. There's no other better way to just make it as simple as that. It's confidence. When you say that word, you hear that word, you feel the physical response to that. You understand what it means, where you lack it, where you need more of it, because, it's an emotional thing. So with confidence, right? And the reason why I want to talk about this is because confidence isn't built by the tangible things that we do, like going to the gym and, showing up at work and doing all these different things, and really proving ourselves that we can put in the work. It's not so much about building it in the gym or building it in those moments of, showing out at work and hitting meetings or showing out in certain areas of your life. It's really about this habits and the systems and the standards that you build to get the goals done. So the gym is a part of that, doing certain things in life is a part of that, but confidence isn't something that's tangible where one day you wake up and you have a miraculous amount of it. It's something that is earned and given to you through the daily and weekly and the monthly habits that you guys have, because you build it in the mornings that you don't want to get out of bed. You build it in the evenings that you don't want to go to the gym, but you show up and do it. You build it in the times where you don't fold under the stress and respect your boundaries and tell other people no and rely on yourself and fill your own cup up. So I want to really talk about that because, we all think confidence comes from having abs or having a certain physical body, or think our confidence comes from a career milestone or a job title or a financial goal, or all of our confidence, like we'll be confident when X happens. And I think that's great to understand. That's a blueprint and an equation to follow for us to see success and feel our best and feel confident. The gym is an easy one, which is why we're going to relate it mostly to that. But going to the gym, we're like, I'm going to be confident when I can fit and clothes better. I want to be confident when I'm a certain weight. I'm going to be confident when I have a certain amount of muscle. I'm gonna be confident when I'm shredded or lean or feel like, whatever it may be. We think we're gonna miraculously feel better once these things are obtained. And, we will 100% feel better than we do right now. But that's not the end all be all for confidence. Confidence really is in all of those mornings that you didn't hit snooze and still got up out of bed and said, fuck everyone else, I'm gonna show the fuck up and get it done. Confidence is built every single time you tell somebody else no about meal prep or getting takeout, or not meal prep, sorry, or saying no to takeout, saying no to drinks, saying no to getting off plan and not tracking your macros and not having 100% clarity and confidence in your nutrition. That's when confidence is built. Confidence is also built when you tell people around you that you truly love, you truly respect and care for, know that you rather protect your own boundaries, your standards, and what you need to do for yourself and whatever that may look like in your life. But confidence is built in all of those moments as well. And every single time you do something so micro like that, because that's what it is. It's micro decisions that compound to create the confidence that you want and you deserve. The gym is a byproduct of that. Having high standards in other areas of your life and getting goals, like, physical goals and stuff like that, that's all byproducts of the micro decisions you make each day that make yourself feel your best. So really locking in on building confidence in 2026, make sure you're super aware as to what are you building on a daily and weekly habit to systemize your life to feel good and have high standards. To give you some reflection points for me, one for sure is the gym. Like, I know for a fact, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm going to be in the gym. Friday and Saturday, I'm going to be in the gym. Thursdays and Sundays are my rest days. It's so ingrained into my soul that I do not see my life being in any other position unless I'm going to like have family or like that's the only thing I think about is having a family and having other things that, need to take that time. But as of right now, that is my base. That is my standard. That is what I'm focusing on for what I'm going to consistently keep as my micro daily decision as a habit to build and keep my confidence. There's still days I don't feel that great. There's days I feel amazing, because life gives you seasons of life, it comes in waves. But I know I'm not going to change that. I know for a fact every Sunday and Wednesday, I meal prep my food. It may not be perfect every week where everything's 110% meal prep, but I know twice a week by minimum, I'm going to be going to the grocery store, doing big hauls, prepping food and ensuring that I have some type of food prepared for me to see success. And those micro decisions are what I know keep the standard and my confidence high. Is there weeks where, like I said, I don't have great weeks and some of the food goes to waste because I'm like, maybe stressed out in other areas and just not paying attention? Of course. But I know I'm still going to put the effort in and the intention in to make sure I can see it through. And same thing with other areas of my life. I'm really big in protecting my energy and my time. And just really isolating myself to make sure that everything I need to do is done, because I'm not to sound arrogant or cocky, but again, just really speaking from the heart and giving you guys like what I'm focusing on 2026 is I'm usually the most ambitious person around. Like, there's not many people that I can have conversations with that I can sit down and leave those conversations fired up or inspired. And it's not I kind of feel bad saying that, but I say that because I'm typically the one that's always reaching and speaking for new heights in life. Not saying I'm over here seeing success on unimaginable levels in these regards every single day, but I'm still focusing on like, hey, what can we do to get better? What can we do to get more abundant? Like, what can we do to get more healthy? And, a lot of people just like to entertain their time by, being present away from life, which is fine, but I don't enjoy to do that with other people. I'm to a degree, I want to have uplifting times. I want to enjoy myself. If you want to go get food and just because you're bored on a Wednesday night, like I'm not that type of person. I'm not bored on my Wednesday night. Like I'm doing stuff, I'm locked in, I'm protecting my boundaries, right? So, if there's a dinner that's going on and, people just want to go and drink and go out on a weekend, like I'm just not going to be there, right? Like I really am protective of my time and I make sure that everything's scheduled within reason, but I say that because, I want to be proactive with my time because I'd much rather just protect my energy so I can only focus on what I'm compounding already. And that's a micro decision where I don't get an immediate return on investment. You know what I mean? Like this year, like I was always so quick to go to coffees with people and get drinks with people. You're not drinks like get drunk, but like, have one or two drinks with people. I was always so quick to go work out with people. I was always so quick to just do small things that I really want to protect that this year because typically I'm the one that's being asked, advice or, how to do certain things in life and, how to do like, whatever, maybe whether it's fitness or a business or whatever it is. I'm super grateful for that. But again, protecting my energy and, isolating myself to go all in on, that the boundaries, right? And I'm really sharing and being real with y'all because, again, all of that is a micro decision. There's a lot of times I feel like a dick or feel like an asshole or feel like I'm just kind of like, like a little bit like, am I right? Like, am I making the right decision? Like, or am I an arrogant asshole? Like, you know what I mean? Because I don't want to seem like I'm better than anyone. But again, if I'm focusing on goals in the future, I get to be held responsible for the standards, right? And it's all built on those micro decisions. But that's honestly all I got for today. If you really want confidence, having big, ambitious goals and wanting to show up in different areas of your life is exactly what you want to do. But it's not done by just those goals by themselves. You don't just build it in the gym. You don't just build it in other areas of your life, like, a career milestone or a promotion or a financial milestone or like, whatever financial goal you have, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? You build it on all of the days and moments you do the work when you didn't want to do it. You build the confidence in all the times that you decided to choose yourself over everyone else and stayed strong through the overwhelm and the stress and the chaos, right? You meal prepped when you didn't fucking want to. You showed up in the gym, and even if you had to cry through a workout, you did it. That's where confidence truly does rely and come from. So really lock that in for 2026. And, like I said, I really do hope you guys are all having an absolute banger of a 2026 and start after the new year. And just truly, truly gamble on yourself this year. See what you're capable of. We have so much of 2026 left, and I'm really going to remind you guys that all year, because before you know it, it's going to be halfway through the year. Before you know it, we're going to be talking about this time next year, 2027. And, that time's going to come whether we focus on it every day or not. And that's why we got to lock the fuck in now. So keep leading from the front and setting those standards, and let's fucking go.